Hair? Do you have a beak? Does your name rhyme with Ald Beagle? Do you dart in front of cars? Here's a tough one. Do you have plumage? Do you rub your body against things to mark them? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... Were you hatched? Do you have fur? I'm not talking back hair. Does your boat fly south for the winter with the other boats? Regardless of how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then...
And then nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there.
We are broadcasters, your home for Pensacola sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Hey, Chad here for the Sports Drive. Catch us 5 to 7 Monday through Friday for the latest in local, collegiate, and national news. Right here on Pensacola's sports leader, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Chad was great.
This is former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Washington High School alum Derek Brooke. You're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office.
Well, we're very appreciative to Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the national champion Clemson Tigers, to take the time to be with us.
Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio.
He does possess the skills necessary to play and be successful in the National Football League or anywhere else.
And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, Joe Ford and Coach K. Stevenson. Welcome to the program. Happy Tuesday. Talk Football with Coach K is live, and we're getting closer and closer to the start of the college football season. Next week, we will be officially in a game week, and Miami Hurricanes, Florida Gators both making news over the weekend as we gear up for that first showdown in Orlando. And a lot happening in the NFL as well, and that's where we're going to start this afternoon. If you want to join the program, 972-1945. Again, that's 972-1945. And, Coach, a couple big stories. Number one, Antonio Brown. That saga appears to be over. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, the Colts, there may be some questions, some inconsistent information about just how serious Andrew Luck's injury may be and what exactly it is that he's dealing with. Colts owner Jay Irsay came out yesterday and said that Andrew Luck is dealing with a small, quote, small little bone injury. The Colts for so long have been calling it a calf injury. We haven't seen him in practice since early August. Not early August, last month. And we haven't seen him since. So, Coach, little troubling information. Jim Irsay, perhaps unintentionally, maybe intentionally, not really sure, because usually you like to have symmetry from the top all the way down on what we're going to say publicly. But Jim Irsay letting it known that Andrew Luck's injury may not be a calf injury, may be something more than that. Not good though from Indianapolis.
It's not good. It's not good at all. Not good that Jim Irsay is giving out information. They should leave that up to the doctors and the trainer. I tell you what's not good, too, is small bone and a calf injury. That just doesn't fit. Something is amiss here. And everybody would like to get a true doctor evaluation of what it is. Now, I'm sure what they're trying to do, they're probably inundated with questions about his Achilles. And they're probably trying to get people the focus off his Achilles. But still, I mean, all they've done is added some more
questions than answers. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's a bad omen, not good.
And if it is, in fact, let's just take for a second, which is can be not an easy thing to do, but let's take Jim Irsay at his word, and let's just, for the sake of conversation, say that Andrew Luck is dealing with a small bone injury. There's a lot of the foot. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be, but there's a lot of bones in the foot. And, we've been hearing a calf so far. Maybe there's a bone injury in his foot or his lower extremity, to use a hockey phrase. But if that is the case, I guess my question is, how much of a concern is it? Not just for, will he be ready for week one, but week one and beyond? Because, for a quarterback, so much of your foundation, your mechanics, just the way you operate, your movement around the pocket is just dependent on the feet, the footwork, and making sure you're balanced, making sure that you're mechanically sound. And if Andrew Luck has a calf injury and a bone issue in his foot, that could lead to more questions that perhaps the Colts may be letting on. It's a bigger deal than we think. We just don't know that. But, if it is that, I'm not sure how to read into that and what that means for the season.
Well, we've said it's really created more questions at this point. And I don't think we can, everything's speculation at this point.
Right.
So maybe, possibly it's a bone bruise, a bad bone bruise. I don't know. But I've got a lot more questions than I do possible answers for it. And I think that's going to have to come now that he's opened Pandora's box. They're going to be on him until they get a doctor and the trainer, those people who are capable of giving a medical reason for what he came out with. They're going to have to do that, get that done. Otherwise, they're not going to have any peace at all.
And as we've said, and as you've stated several times over the last week, Coach, the injuries have not. This is not something brand new in Andrew Luck's career, dealing with injuries, and he's had some pretty serious one over the course of his relatively young career thus far. To my knowledge, I think this would be the first lower body injury that he's had to deal with. So again, more questions than answers at this point, and perhaps as the weeks go on, we'll certainly look to get more clarity. We do now have clarity in the situation regarding Antonio Brown. So Antonio Brown, he has the issue with the helmet right now. The helmet has really diverted attention away from his feet, which may be the entire point of this exercise that Antonio Brown has been taking on for the past week or so. But his grievance did not go his way as we expected it not to go his way. So he's taking to Twitter now. So if you happen to have a spare helmet laying around that just happens to be the exact one, I don't know, maybe one of these helmets are the one that he's looking for. Maybe we can, try to make a deal with AB. But Antonio Brown taking to Twitter, quote, "I'm looking for a Schutt Air Advantage adult large helmet that was manufactured in 2010 or after. In exchange, I will trade a signed practice-worn Raiders helmet." So, Coach, he is expected to be back at practice today, so hopefully from the Raiders' perspective, they can just move on back to football.
I hope so. This is ridiculous, and there's no way that this is going to be a continuing problem. I mean, the Raiders, certainly in the league, will put an end to this, and there's no way, there's just no way that they're going to let him play with a 10-year-old helmet. And if you look at Tom Brady, Brady's going through some fitting problems with his helmet too, but nothing, no problem about not wearing the approved helmet.
Let's go to the phones. Jonah, you are on. Jonah, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. So wanted to weigh in on this Antonio Brown saga. He's supposedly going to be at practice today, but your thoughts on this whole thing that Antonio Brown's been doing for the past week or so?
Yeah, so I've noticed a lot of talking heads on TV, and I've read a lot of articles online about people giving him a lot of flack for wanting to have his helmet. While I think it is silly that he wants a specific helmet, I tend to side with him a lot more. I feel like the NFL is more of a team-oriented league, whereas the NBA is more of a player-oriented. And I feel like with the amount of stress these guys put on their body and the amount of hits that they take on a day-to-day basis, especially with Antonio Brown during the season, if he wants to request his helmet, he has every right to. And I didn't like the fact that he got a lot of flack for not wanting to play with the Steelers anymore. While I don't agree with the way he went about it, at the end of the day, I'm sure Coach K can agree with this if he was a football player as well. You're putting your body through hell every week, and the return is either you get famous and get paid in the NFL, like how Antonio Brown is, or you end up like a lot of guys 2 or 3 years out of the league, and they have to deal with the long-term consequences on their body after that.
Well, let me address the helmet issue first, and you've made some good points, Jonah. But the helmet issue is very, very, very simple. A helmet, before they can put the NFL can put the helmet on the field, on a player and on the field, it has to be NOCSI approved. Now that is an acronym for the people that test and approve helmets now. It has been for a long time. I mean, I'm going back 50 years. NOCSI has been the standard for helmet acceptability going on into a football game. Now, with all the head injuries and all that's going on with the concussion talk and the damage that they see with head injuries, certainly the league is going to do everything they can and are expected. If they didn't put a value and a premium on the right helmet, you talk about an uproar, and the press would be all over the National Football League for even allowing a player to get on the field with a helmet that's inadequate for NFL play. So they have no choice, and I don't think it probably took the arbitrator. I don't know how they could even go, but it went to an arbitrator, and I think it probably didn't take him 10 minutes to say, this is the helmet that you're going to have to wear a NOCSI approved helmet, period. So that should take care of the helmet situation. I understand you feel comfortable in a certain helmet, but it's not a part of the game right now. It's gone, and as far as players being able to move, there are ways within the league, and I admit that sometimes it's difficult if you're a good player and a team wants to keep you, but you can't have complete anarchy with with players just going wherever they want to go. I say let's get a group together, a group of the Buffalo players together, and say we all want to go play in Miami, and we're going to go in mass to play in Miami, take us all, and you just can't allow those types of things to happen. It's got to be orderly. It's got to be done within the rules of the league. But your questions are good. Your points are good, and we appreciate the call. Jonah, continue to check with us whenever you have any question at all.
Sounds great. I appreciate y'all taking my call. Look forward to listening in the future.
Thank you,
You bet.
Jonah. Appreciate it. And the other thing that Jonah brought up that I wanted to kind of highlight was him getting out of Pittsburgh. And look, I am always going to be pro player on this, and I think Jonah and I probably agree here, is that when we dispute, player versus team, and it's always amazing to me that in large part fans always side with the team because the team has always been there, is always going to be there. The fans are drawn to the team. Players come and go. It's amazing to me how many people get all up bent in shape about a guy trying to get the maximum value that he can right now. Contract disputes, Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon. We may think they're right or wrong in their pursuit of getting the contract that they want, but the fact of the matter is that NFL players, especially NFL players, because of the strain on their bodies, only have a limited amount of time for which they can maximize earning potential. And Antonio Brown is, I think, 29, 30 years old, 31, somewhere up there. So he's looking at this and saying, okay, what is the best way? What can I do to get one last mega contract? It's probably not in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh historically, and they've been kind of well known that they have a specific pay structure, and it was the same deal that Le'Veon Bell ran into last year. There is a right way to go about it, and there is a wrong way. So I will always side player because, hey, it's his life. Ultimately, he has to do what's best for him. He has to do what's best for his family. By all means, go out and make as much as you can with the limited time constraints that you have to do. But the way that Antonio Brown went about it isn't the way that I would go. He quit on his team. He didn't show up to work for week 17. So I agree. I'm pro player. Antonio Brown, go get your money however you can get it. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And quitting on your team in week 17 isn't the way to go. But as we've seen historically, Antonio Brown has gotten his way every step of the way. Nobody's told him no until now, and this is how he reacts.
Well, let's put everything in perspective, too, Joe. That's easy to say that players get all they can, but it's all relative. A few years ago, just a very few years ago, and I know this may not sound or be a part of the formula now, but just a few years ago, a starting quarterback in the National Football League made about $15,000. Okay? Not that long ago. Now we're talking about many millions. And we're talking about every time the salaries go up, you're disrespected if they don't pay you more. Now, when it gets to $1 billion a year, no, I'm serious. When it gets to $1 billion a year, should a player feel disrespected because he's not getting $1 billion? He's only getting $900 million. Where does it go? And there has to be a lid. There has to be. Listen, there is a rule in economics that holds true. You're only worth what the market demands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, they're very fortunate that the NFL has provided a market that allows them to go play football for millions of dollars. If that's not good enough, go do something else. Maybe you're a doctor or a lawyer. Go to a hospital, go to an operating room, become a surgeon. Go do what you feel is going to pay you the best and going to give you the most satisfaction in life. I am not for trying to kill the goose that laid the golden egg, because there is a certain point. At a certain point, it's like 2 years now. It's become. It used to be you didn't negotiate a contract until you played out your option, your contract. You didn't negotiate another contract because it was the end of the contract and then an option year. That's the way all contracts were. Now, players are leaving practice and not showing up and threatening whatever, and still have 2 years left on the contract. Just a very few years ago, that would have meant 3 years you still owed. The 2 years on the contract and an option year if the team so desired. Trent Williams, good example right now. The big tackle with the Redskins. He's got 2 years remaining on the contract. Ezekiel Elliott has 2 years remaining on a contract. And yet they're wanting to renegotiate. Now, where do you stop this madness? I mean, it's absolute madness. And Dak Prescott now has turned down $30 million.
Well,
it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and we'll get to Dak in a second here because there have been some conflicting reports about how much he's really asking for, but we'll get to that in a second. My response to that, and again, this would be just the counter argument to what you're saying, is that it's not a contract is supposed to be a two-way agreement, and the players ideally would honor the contract for however many years that they've signed for. But just as history has shown us, and just as we've seen time and time again, where a player has outperformed his contract and is holding out until they renegotiate with the team, we've also seen examples where a player signed a contract and an NFL team has not honored that contract because, dip in productivity, whatever the case may be, injury, there's two sides to this. And we've also seen examples where, a team, once and the contract, the language about, guaranteed money versus total money, every time we hear 6-year, $100 million contract, okay, that's great. How much is actually guaranteed, right? And a team will not think twice about cutting a player, if the productivity.
That's part of the contract, though. That going in when you sign the contract, the
right.
team can cut you. It's not a guaranteed contract. There are contracts now, which again used to be taboo. You didn't have guaranteed contracts. That was out of the question. But they would give bonuses up front, but not guaranteed money over
right.
a certain number of years. Guaranteed contracts are the only ones that protect you from being released by the club at their discretion. And that's part of playing in the National Football League. If you don't like it as a player, again, go be a doctor. Go be whatever you're going to be, which you're equipped to do. I'm sure after spending all those years in college, you're ready to go out and conquer the world. So you have to be very, very careful about how the spending goes, and it's just like when these quarterbacks, once they get beyond the entry-level contract, inevitably the quality of the talent around them goes down significantly. Seattle, great example. You can't pay everybody what they want, so they leave.
Yeah.
Now, you can pay people more when the quarterback is on his entry-level contract because you have the money available. But when he starts demanding such a huge chunk of the change, there's nothing left.
Yeah, and Coach, I get what you're saying, and I understand, the validity and I guess the respect that one would command by, playing out a contract. But again, I just keep going back to, in those instances where an athlete who has inarguably outperformed his current contract, just as a team can cut a player who underperforms his current contract, there has to be an avenue, there has to be a way for a player who, again, isn't protected in as far as future earnings unless he holds himself out. If Michael Thomas doesn't sign that his extension, he's making $1.1 million this year. Nobody in the right mind would say Michael Thomas is a $1.1 million receiver this year. He's a top 5 receiver in the National Football League. He should be paid accordingly. If Michael Thomas plays in training camp, if he goes out in the preseason and he suffers a career-ending injury, there is nothing beyond this year that Michael Thomas can look to. There's nothing that he can look to.
Yes, he has. He signed a $100 million contract
I'm saying with
6 years.
I'm saying if he didn't
guarantee.
sign that, like if he went out on his rookie contract and gave it all for the team without having the security that he now has, if he went out and he quote honored the contract, the $1.1 million contract, again, not a small chunk of change for somebody like me.
Well, let me say this. I think he's a bad example because he is the perfect candidate. He is eligible for a renewed contract, for a renegotiated contract, and he has been ultra productive. Mm-hmm. So there's no question about him. I can give you flip sides where we have had guys we felt were maybe underpaid. I can remember 2, one a defensive back, one a receiver, and we said let's redo their second and third year or whatever it was. Just because we think it's fair for them and what we're asking them to do. And we approached them with, we didn't have to, but we approached them with some additional dollars, and immediately they turned it down. Their agents got involved and said, no, we're going to renegotiate. We're going to renegotiate for a heck of a lot more than that. Now, we didn't have to do that. All it did was cost them money because those are dollars, significant dollars that they could have had. But, if you're going to renegotiate, you got to renegotiate for an unbelievable amount more than that.
Well, we'll take a quick break, and coming back, the Dallas Cowboys have themselves a problem right now. Their top 3 players are asking for new deals, and the numbers flying around here are pretty crazy, and at least in my mind anyway. We'll talk about that next. Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, what in the world are the Cowboys going to do? We'll talk about that next. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline is engineered with 4 levels of defense against gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. It's sort of like having ninjas protect your engine. That helps keep your engine running like new. New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. It's fuel for thought in engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 Talk Football with Coach K. Coach K and Joe Ford in studio as we're continuing to dive into all the news and notes in the National Football League and the world of college football. And talking money. Everything revolves around money. And Antonio Brown got his. And now all reports are that he will report back to camp today just in time for Hard Knocks Episode 2. And I'm looking forward to Hard Knocks, Coach. Hopefully it, kind of spells out the drama that we've seen the past week. I hope it does, because, if there's one thing that Americans love, it's drama. And I'll be watching, and I'll have a full report tomorrow, which I know you won't be able to sleep tonight. Just waiting for my extensive report on Hard Knocks. But the Dallas Cowboys have themselves a problem. They have 3 guys: Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, 3 guys you may have heard before. They're okay. All wanting new deals. And the latest numbers kind of blow you away until you really look at how much the top quarterbacks are making. Dak Prescott, according to NFL.com, wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And the club offered him $30 million per year. And the NFL Network's Jane Slater saying, nope, that's not good enough. Dak wants $40 million. Now, Russell Wilson is on his current deal, the one that he signed a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year. He's averaging $35 million per season, so Russell Wilson currently setting the bar. Coach, your reaction to that when you first heard that, $40 million per year for a starting quarterback, the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback, America's team. Does Dak deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in the league right now?
No. And this is, again, a ridiculous situation like I talked about a minute ago. Where does it go? Is it $1 billion a year? I don't know. At this pace, it's going to get there because the rate of increase on these salaries is ridiculous. But no, he doesn't. He's a good quarterback. I like him. I like his demeanor. I like his the way he handles the press. I like the way he handles himself in a ball game. He looks to be very much in control. I like all that. I think he's an adequate passer. I don't think he's a good passer. Don't think he's tremendously accurate. He's got a lot of peaks and valleys with his throws. He's a big guy who can take off and make a play with his legs if he has to. So he gives you that. But is he even in the conversation with Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Matty Ice in Atlanta? You name it. No, he's He's not in that category as a quarterback. Now, to say that he wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the league, how could that be? How can that be the case, especially when you look at what Brady just did? Brady could care less about being the highest paid quarterback in the league. But no, I don't think he should even be thought about in that category. I'll give him a nice figure for what he is. I think he's a mid-level quarterback in the league, maybe in the top 10. But we'll see over the next year or two.
Yeah, if you're a Cowboy fan, love to get your thoughts. 972-1945. If you're Jerry Jones, if you're the decision makers, you're the brass. Are you giving Dak Prescott what he wants? A $40 million per year contract, which would make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Give us a call. Again, if you're a Cowboys fan, or if you just like to think of yourselves as a general manager, are you giving Dak this money? 972-1945. And Coach, again, not just Dak. We've got Ezekiel Elliott, who's holding out. We've got Amari Cooper, who is looking for a new contract. And kind of what you said last year, it is great. It is great if you're an NFL team, you have a franchise quarterback who's on a rookie deal. And the Seattle Seahawks were able to build one of the better defensive units that we've seen in the last 20 to 25 years, the Legion of Boom secondary. But as you said, at some point, these contracts come up and you have to make hard decisions about who is in and who's out, who do we value more, who is more integral to what we do as a football team. Based on what Ezekiel Elliott's asking for, based on what Dak Prescott is asking for, and probably Amari Cooper is asking for at least top 5 wide receiver money, I don't know how the Cowboys could keep all three and still field a competitive team trying to win a Super Bowl. And that's the situation, that's the kind of the quandary that Jerry Jones finds himself in, because he wants that Super Bowl. There's nothing that he wants more than that Super Bowl. He has a team to do it if everybody's there, or at least to seriously contend for one. Maybe some hard decisions coming up in the near future. Maybe, I don't know, trade. Are we trading guys away? How do the Cowboys make this work?
Well, that's the question. And it goes back to what we talked about before the break. How much money? You say that the players deserve everything they can get. Well, what if all three of these get everything that they want? Then you don't have the Dallas Cowboys. You can't pay everybody on that football team and pay them what they want. Now, can they find a way around it? I don't know. I guess there's some innovative ways that you can mortgage out into the future. Certainly, I know there are ways to extend the salary cap, but it all comes back to bite you at some point, and then you have to get rid of people. That's when you have to get rid of people. And what do the fans say? What do the press say? They're tearing up they're destroying a good football team. Well, you have no choice because you overpaid them to begin with. So you gotta make those determinations. They're hard decisions, terribly hard decisions, but you gotta make them. And at this point, I think they're looking at, to be honest with you, what they need to do between a quality running back and a quality receiver. And they're not going to pay Zach Prescott. They're not going to pay him even $35 million. I can't imagine that. But I think they'll probably end up getting a contract done with him, the quarterback. But now you can't do the other two. And Ezekiel Elliott has 2 years left on a contract, plus an option year. So what do you do there? I think you could, as a football team, you could put your foot down here and say, hey, here's the deal. We'll renegotiate with you after when you got 1 year left on your contract, or what our norm is for our football team. But we're not going to renegotiate with 2 years left on the contract.
And it's such an interesting question because in the hypothetical world where all three guys want what they want and the team just can't afford all three, I'm sure there's conversations being had. And certainly in the media world, which of the three would be the odd one out, because all three are so integral to what the Cowboys do offensively, but they all three of them work so well. Like, the Cowboys aren't as effective without Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys aren't as effective without Dak Prescott, and we certainly saw where having both of them on the field, they still weren't as effective as they could be without Amari Cooper.
Okay, let's go back to what would you do, and this is a great question you should always ask yourself, anybody, and especially in a situation like this. But if you were a coach of a football team, owner, whatever, of a football team tomorrow in the National Football League, what do you can have three choices. What do you take with those three choices to start with? Number one is very obvious. You can't even play without a quarterback. So that's number one. Number two is you have to have somebody who can put pressure on the quarterback, even to the extent that they can take over a football game. Okay, so a dominant pass rusher. And third, you have to have an offensive line that gives you a chance for your quarterback to stand up and a chance to run the football, regardless of who you have back there as a back, okay? So to start with, the number one thing I think that they have to do is look at it like that. What you got to do, you got to have a quarterback. So if you're going to have to pay him this year, you got to work out a deal with the quarterback. That's number one. And then you make a decision on where you have to go with the running back and the receiver. And that's a decision that only they can make by looking at what they have as a football team and what each brings to that football team. The other extenuating circumstance is your running back has 2 years left on the contract. So I think that has to enter into any negotiated deal.
It'll be certainly fascinating to see how this progresses as training camp goes on. Again, Ezekiel Elliott's side has said we're not playing until we get a new deal. Dak Prescott, who is not holding out, but he's requesting upwards of $40 million for a year. Amari Cooper also looking for a new deal. The Washington Redskins, their holdout, Trent Williams, a seven-time Pro Bowler at offensive tackle. He has not gotten a new deal. He stayed away from the team. And I know that there's more issues with Trent Williams than just the contract situation. He has not felt in past injuries that the team was really supportive. That he's saying that the Redskins haven't treated him well. He wants out. And Coach, when you have a player as good as Trent Williams who's not there, he is requesting to be traded. The Redskins are saying we're not listening to offers. And Daniel Snyder, we all have our opinions about Daniel Snyder, how he's operated the team. Fortunately, if you're a Redskins fan, he is the owner of the team, so ultimately he has the final say. And it seems like a power play here to me that Daniel Snyder is saying, hey, we're not going to let you get your way. We're not listening to offers for you. It's a really unfortunate situation. Trent Williams, who's he's a veteran, seven-time Pro Bowler. He has put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on the field, for a team that has not been very good for, in large part, his entire career. And as a coach, you know the sides, you know where Daniel Snyder's coming from, you know where Trent Williams is coming from. They both have their thoughts, their opinions on what should happen. And I'm just curious, where are you coming down on this? If it were me, if I'm the owner, I'm probably just giving him his wish. He's a contract holdout. We could get a lot of valuable assets for him, and ultimately, I think that's what's best for the team. It's what's best for him. But Daniel Snyder is not playing around with this.
Well, I'm not a Daniel Snyder guy, but I will tell you this: there's no way that I relent on this. He's got a contract. He plays there. I can tell you many, many players in the National Football League who played out their careers in teams where they hated being there. A great quarterback who played in a northern city where the wind blows all the time in an outdoor stadium. And he thinks, well, what about all my peers who I played against in college, and they're all in the sunshine or they're in dome stadiums where they don't have the wind to contend with. And I have to play my whole career here. But did they threaten?
Does his name rhyme with Tim Nelly?
No. But under no circumstances did they even insinuate breaking a contract or going anywhere else or whatever. They played and gave it everything they had. Now that's what you do as an NFL player. And when you go into the league, you're not going to pick and choose where you want to go play, or if you don't like it here. If you got a contract, that's where you're going to be. And I hope Washington does not relent and trade him somewhere he wants to go. I think that would be just opening Pandora's box for others around the league to do it. And I don't know, you just can't do it. And I can assure you that would not be the case in New England.
I'll take a timeout. Coming back, we'll hit some college football. The big story yesterday was the Miami quarterback situation. Not that the quarterback was named, but what happened after the quarterback was named. We'll hit that next. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Introducing the next generation of SiriusXM with all new features, exclusively on the SiriusXM app and online. Enjoy over 100 ad-free extra channels filled with music for any mood. Create your own ad-free music stations with personalized stations powered by Pandora. Watch video of your favorite shows and performances, and listen in more places than ever because listening outside the car is now included in even more packages. Visit SiriusXM.com/connect to start listening today.
Plants capture CO2. What if we could help industrial plants capture it too? Think how we could help lower emissions. More and more scientists think carbon capture is key to reducing CO2 emissions globally. It's one way ExxonMobil is helping industrial plants be more like plants. That's the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil.
Welcome back to Sports View. Today's topic, who's the greatest of all time? For my money, it's Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle. It literally saves you money. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Look, it's simple.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Add up all the heroes, take away the zeros, and what you got? One big trophy and me saying, I told you so.
I disagree.
Thanks, fellas. Took the words right out of my mouth.
There's really no debate. Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle is a winning combination. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Joe Ford and Coach K in studio here. The phone number, 972-1945, 972-1945. Before we hit the world of college football, Coach, you had some inside info. Auburn fans, listen up here. Jared Stidham, the quarterback who the Patriots drafted, they love the developmental guys like that. Jimmy Garoppolo, they thought that they had the future of the quarterback position there solidified. They traded him, then turned around and drafted Jared Stidham a year later. And Coach, you are hearing some things about Jared Stidham and how he's doing in Patriots camp?
Just a little inside information that I'm sure that our fans around here would be interested in hearing. And we've talked about for quite a while about Jared Stidham being a very good quarterback, and big things were expected at Auburn. But I can tell you this: people that have seen this in the New England camp and have talked to Belichick is very, very happy with Stidham, and he should be. They said this kid is not only lighting up the practices out there, looks like an all-star quarterback, all-pro quarterback, but he had a good preseason game, the opening ball game there. Did a good job and made all the throws that Belichick was hoping that he would make in the ball game. The underneath, the short throws, the medium range with finding the window and dropping the ball in on the deep throws, and throwing on the run a couple of times. So they're very happy with him. And as I said before, and I will stick by it, this could have been the steal of the draft. New England picking Stidham in the 4th round.
Oh, and Bill Belichick, nobody will confuse Bill Belichick with a wordsmith. But he was on a conference call last Friday, and a lot of the local Patriots media took note of how effusive he was in praising Jared Stidham. Bill Belichick, quote, "I think there were several plays that donned all of the categories: really quick throws, where the read was clear and the receiver was open, and then maybe a secondary read. There was a little bit of everything there. The most important thing for the quarterback is not to turn the ball over, make good decisions, throw accurately. So he did all of those at times." And Coach Bill Belichick doesn't like to say a lot about anybody, even his own players, and they certainly took special note that Bill Belichick was very made sure to point out the things that he was doing well. So there's a lot of validity to that, and good insight there. And Jared Stidham, he came from Baylor, went to Auburn. Probably not the system that he would like to be in. For a kind of like a pro style type quarterback who can run and is mobile. But there's no question about it. If you're a young quarterback, there's not very many better places to be than in New England right now.
Yeah, it's a great place for him, and he could end up being that guy because there's not going to be any pressure to play him. He's a 4th rounder. So the pressure's not going to be there to play him early, which is not going to happen. But he may be the guy that's in waiting, that by the time Brady decides to retire, they will have their next quarterback ready to go. And that certainly could be the case.
And you can't say enough to be able to be in the same room, to be able to really shadow a guy like Tom Brady, who is the consummate professional who acts the part, of a franchise quarterback. And for Jared Stidham to be able to just observe, really, how does Tom Brady prepare for a game? How does he break down film? How does he just go about his business from the time he enters the building until he leaves? It's so valuable. That's so valuable. And, a quarterback who's drafted, especially high, not that Stidham was, but we like to see him right away. But there's certainly validity. Guys like Aaron Rodgers who got to observe and sit behind Brett Favre, players like that, certainly not comparing Stidham to Aaron Rodgers, but there is just so much merit to being able to sit. But a lot of it depends on who is also in the quarterback room, and what a tremendous example that he has.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Stidham, not only the organization that he's with, but being able to work with Brady is really, really worth a ton to him.
We'll close out the day. We'll take a quick break. Coming back, news and notes from around the world of college football. Tate Martell, the transfer from Ohio State to Miami, didn't win the starting job. How did he react? Probably shedding light on why he didn't win the starting job in the first place. We'll dive into that next. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range, Highway 29 in Car City.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 Talk Football with Coach K. Coach K along with Joe Ford in studio, closing out the show with news and notes from around the world of college football. Now just, 11 days? 11 days away from Miami and the Florida Gators from Orlando. Saturday the 24th at I think 6 o'clock is the kickoff time for that one. And I can't wait. And, Coach, I know you can't wait for the start of college football season. It'll be a game week next week, and that's always a good thing. Miami Hurricanes making news yesterday, announcing Jaron Williams as the starting quarterback. Many, myself included, thought it would be Tate Martell, the transfer from Ohio State. Martell transferred because Justin Fields wanted to team up with head coach Ryan Day, and Martell left shortly after that, headed to Miami, thought he was in the pole position for the starting job. I think a lot of people thought that, and in the end, it is redshirt freshman Jaron Williams who gets to start on Monday. Coach, big picture, really all this means is that he's starting the game against Florida. Who knows what happens between weeks 2 and weeks 11? A lot could happen, but making news was probably the response to the news that Jaron Williams was the starting quarterback. Tate Martell was a no-show. at practice yesterday.
Yeah.
As a coach, that's probably not what you want to see in red flags.
That is a no-no. He bailed out on his football team because you never know. You're right. You never know how things are going to go. The other kid could get hurt. He may not function very well, may not be productive, and you may be in the ball game. But whatever, he wanted Tate Martell wanted the job handed to him, obviously, and it didn't happen. So he's gonna leave, pack his bag, and go home. I guess.
Tate Martell, I think getting kind of a rude awakening in college that it's not going to be this easy. And he was at Bishop Gorman powerhouse program in Las Vegas, never lost a game there. Went to Ohio State. He sat behind J.T. Barrett for a year. That there was a quarterback competition. There was 3 of them. There was Dwayne Haskins, there was Joe Burrow, and then there was Tate Martell. Martell finished probably second in that competition because Joe Burrow, as a graduate transfer, wound up in LSU. Finally thought, hey, this is a chance that I can start. And then, a lot changed, coaching changed. Tate Martell was always Urban Meyer's guy. And Ryan Day probably just had a different design and vision for what the offense will look like. So I can't fault Tate Martell for wanting to leave. What I can fault is the response. The response, the kind of the mindset that the attitude, the aura that you're kind of giving off. When Justin Fields was looking to transfer and there were whispers that it would be Ohio State, Tate Martell took to Twitter, said, hey, word of advice, you better not swing and miss, especially the second time. And then he left right after that, so kind of is he running away from competition, or is he running away from adversity? Is the more important thing. And coach, a quarterback is the leader of the team, and every football team, I don't care if you're 11-0 or you're 0-11, every single team is going to go through adversity at some point, and it appears, at least early on in Tate Martell's tenure, that in Miami and going back to Ohio State, that he doesn't really handle adversity well. And fourth quarter of a football game, you're down 10 minutes left on the clock. How does a quarterback respond?
Yeah, there are all types of reasons why a quarterback can't act this way and be responsible for that position. Now, you just can't do it. It's probably cost him anything he would have had in the way of a college career, I'm guessing. Now, he may show back up on the on the radar screen.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough. It's going to be doubtful that he does.
Yeah, so we'll see. By the way, Miami did say that he is still on the team. Look, there may be a perfectly reasonable explanation why Tate Martell wasn't on the team. They may just, try to cover for him and say, he had some sort of a prior commitment, just to kind of save face there. But again, not a good look for Tate Martell. So that'll be interesting to see as the season goes on. That's going to do it for us today. Tomorrow we're going to hit SEC quarterbacks hard. There's Jake Fromm and Joe Burrow at LSU. So much riding on them. The success of those two teams. We'll dive into that tomorrow. Thanks for listening. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.